All right, today we're diving into a really powerful piece called Dying to Be Me. It's all about that deep internal struggle to just be our authentic selves and, the high price we pay when we're not. So let me ask you something. Have you ever felt that? That little voice inside, or maybe a really loud one, that's just screaming to get out? It's that feeling that the real you is trapped, and you're kind of scared that if you let that person out, the world might not accept them. And that feeling, well, that leads us right to the heart of the problem. The source calls this a voice screaming inside. It's this idea that we're trapped by these, well, invisible mental shackles. Now, the author makes a really bold claim here. They say that there is pretty much nothing more painful than not being your true self. It's like this constant, nagging friction between who you really are on the inside and the person you feel you have to be on the outside. And I love this phrase they use, invisible mental shackles. Because it's true, right? They aren't actual chains, but they're the weight of all those expectations from family, from our culture, from society, telling us who we should be, how we should think, and how we should live our lives. Okay, so what does this pressure actually look like in day-to-day life? The source gives us two really powerful stories that show just how heavy that weight of expectations can actually feel. The first story starts with something a lot of us can probably relate to. The author's 14 years old, and she picks out this dress, white with black dots. And for her, this is a huge deal. It's not just a piece of clothing, it's like her first real flag plant of personal style. And bam! Just like that, that little spark of individuality hits a brick wall. The second her mother sees it, it's just total disapproval. Not a conversation, not a, let's talk about it, just a hard no. So her choice just gets erased. She has to take the dress back and get one that her mother decided was more fitting. And that phrase, more fitting, it says everything, doesn't it? Fitting into a box, not fitting the person. And here's the thing, it wasn't just about the dress. That one moment created a pattern. From then on, in any family argument, she was automatically cast as the bad guy, the one who was disrespecting her mother. Her attempts to just be herself were painted as rebellion. But, the fallout can be so much more serious than an argument over a dress. The source then shares this absolutely devastating story about the author's aunt. When she was young, her father forced her to marry an older man. It wasn't a choice. And so she spent her entire adult life trapped, full of resentment, living a life that was never, ever hers. Her story is it's a tragic warning of where this path of conformity can lead, an entire lifetime of regret. So these stories, they really bring us to a much bigger question. What is the actual, tangible cost when we constantly ignore that voice inside us? And the source really doesn't pull any punches here. The cost is huge. It can lead to feeling constantly suffocated, to this deep, simmering frustration. It could mean getting to the end of your life and realizing all your dreams, all your music is still locked up inside you. And in the most tragic, extreme cases, the pressure just becomes too much to bear. Okay, but after looking at that cost, we get to the turning point. This is where it shifts. It's about finding the courage to be you and making a conscious choice, a refusal to end up with a life full of regrets. And this is it. This is the emotional core of the whole thing. I refuse to be on my deathbed wishing I should have been more me than I ever allowed myself to be. That's not just a nice thought, is it? That's a declaration. That's drawing a line in the sand and making a commitment to yourself, starting right now. So if that's our new mission statement, what does it actually mean to live that way? What's the path forward to an authentic life? Well, living authentically isn't just about being a rebel for the sake of it. The source defines it as an act that requires two big things: courage, and, this is the really crucial part, self-acceptance. It means looking at all your unique quirks and passions and just embracing them, even and maybe especially when other people just don't get it. When you really boil it down, it comes to two keys. Number one is the inside job. You have to fully accept yourself, warts and all. And number two is the outside job. You have to understand, really understand, that not everyone is going to get you or approve of you. And you have to decide that that's okay. That's where the freedom is. The author includes this quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it just perfectly captures the whole idea. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. I mean, think about that. In a world that's always pushing and pulling you, just managing to be yourself is a huge victory. It really is the biggest win you can have. So this leaves all of us with a final question to take away. Becoming more you doesn't have to be some giant earth-shattering event. It can be small. It could be as simple as wearing something that makes you feel fantastic, or voicing an opinion you've been holding back, or finally starting that hobby. So, what's one small thing you can do today to be a little more you?